My name is Arvin Azman 01DKM18F1095. I will explain about processes for ideal DC circle. In isentropic compression process, the piston moves from BDC to TDC and compression of air takes place isentropically. It means that during compression the entropy remains constant and there is no flow of heat out of the cylinder walls happens. In constant volume heat additional process, the hot body is kept in contact with the cylinder and heat additional to the air takes place at constant pressure. During this process, the piston rests for a moment at TDC. In isentropic expansion process, after heat additional, the expansion of air takes place isentropically and work is obtained from the system. The piston moves downward during this process and reaches to BDC. In constant volume heat reaction process, the piston rests at BDC for a moment and the cool body is brought in constant with the cylinder and the heat reaction takes place at constant volume.
My name is Siti Soleha binti Mahmud Ali, 01DKM18F1097. I will explain about block diagram diesel engine. A simple power plant are shown in the figure. The diesel engines are generally classified into 4-stroke and 2-stroke engines. Generally, 2-stroke engines are used for diesel power plants. The compressor draws the air from the atmosphere and compress. The compressed air is supplied to the engine through the filter for starting, where it is compressed by a piston in a cylinder. The fuel oil is supplied from the tank through the filter to the fuel injector. The fuel injector injects the fuel into the cylinder and mix with compressed air. The injected fuel gets ignited and combustion takes place. This liberates the large amount of energy which is utilized to run the generator to produce the electric power. The cooling water is continuously supplied to cool the engine and lubricating oil is supplied to lubricate the engine parts. The air intake supplies the air to the engine for subsequent operation.
My name is Muhammad Ikram Hakim bin Ismail Iskandar. My metric number is 01DKM18F1100 and I want to talk about the sketch layout of the air compressor. This is the layout of the air compressor.
My name is Nur Fadli Minti Nazri, 01DKM18F1099. Today I will explain category of loop pump. Loop pump can be classified as rotary loop pump. Next, I will explain how liquid flow direction in suction, discharge, and blades. First, as the loops come out of mesh, they create expanding volume on the inlet side of the pump. Liquid flows into the cavity and is trapped by the loops as they rotate. Secondly, liquid travels around the interior of the casing in the pockets between the loops and the casing. It does not pass between the loops. Finally, the meshing of the loops forces liquid through the outlet port under pressure.
My name is Atif bin Anwar and I am going to explain about the rotary vane pump. Rotary vane pump is a positive displacement pump that consists of vane and mounted to a rotor. The vanes are on and off at the center, and as the shaft rotates, the variable length vane slide in and out to maintain contact with the pump housing. The tension of the vanes is maintained by either the spring or the hydraulic pressure. As the vanes rotate, they create chamber of varying size of chamber. The fluid enters at the largest chamber and the chamber gets smaller and forcing the fluid to exit through the discharge port or the outlet port.